Good afternoon. So, when food becomes too expensive, and you may say, Gina, honey, food is already too expensive. And it depends on what you bought. Well, I know it is. I know it is. But what will we do when it becomes way, way too expensive? You know, there's like something that says a quart of wheat for a day's wages and 3 quarts of barley for a day's wages, and do not harm the oil or the wine. So the reason I say this, talking about the bread, no, I don't want to eat squirrels. I really don't. I saw that when I was little, growing up. This boy, he would hunt squirrels, and he'd skin them, and he'd hang them up on a line. And I thought, that looks really gross. If that's what I said, that looks really gross, and that's not nice. So my daughter baked some yeast rolls yesterday, a loaf pan of, hello Applebrooks, honey, a loaf pan of rolls, and then she made some dumplings that she steamed. And I said, how much flour did you use between the bread and the dumpling? She said, oh, around 10 cups of flour. And I thought, wow, that is a whole thing of flour. It is. I think it's one of those great big bags of flour. And I thought, could you imagine if you baked a loaf of bread a day and it was 5 cups of flour? Your flour would not last very long at all. Okay, I think the Amish use around a 20-pound bag of flour every week. So could you even possibly store up enough flour to sustain you? Really, could you? If you made a loaf of bread a day, I think you'd have to use it very sparingly. You really would. Because even though bread, you know, you can add water and you let it rise with yeast and all that, it wouldn't be long. And if you had a lot of people with you, that bread would not go that far, unless you blessed it, I guess, and unless you were like Jesus, the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish from the sea, and then you just multiplied it and you had enough for everybody. I don't know if we're going to see some kind of a miracle like that, but could you imagine that? Thinking, okay, well, I've got around three bags of flour. That should last me for a long time. Not really. When you start making bread, it won't last you that long at all. Hello, everyone. So that's what I'm wondering. When food gets too expensive, and it is really getting expensive, it is. Some things, you know, you may say, well, there's no way I'm paying that price for that food. And I think that it's not, let me pause for the wind chimes. Okay, so there's no way that flour is going to last all that time. And then you'd have to have some baking soda. I think you'd have to have some baking powder, or you can make flatbread and stuff. You could, I guess you could improvise it, but it won't go as far as you think it would go. That's what I think. It wouldn't. And it could even become rancid if not stored in the right conditions, you all. Oh, Wendy, honey, thank you. I shouldn't have, when I came outside today, you know, I think being outside, the pollen count might be high. It makes my eye water. Yeah. So, we're not talking about that level. Love all. Yeah, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about when food becomes too expensive. I know what I was going to say before I got distracted with my train of thought. So there will always be like food in like the big stores, but you may not be able to afford it. That's the thing. And you may not be able to have the gas to get to where that food is. You may not. Even if the small truckers or the, you know, the I don't know, the people who drive their own trucks and stuff, the, I forget the name, what you would call them, even if they don't deliver anymore because of the high prices, even if you have like the great big corporations delivering it, you still would have to get there, and would you be able and would you be willing to pay the price? Because really, if you think about prophecy, if you think about the apocalyptic book of Revelation, it's like an apocrypha. A quart of wheat, 1 quart of wheat for a day's wages. 1 quart is like 2 cups of flour. That's about a half a loaf of bread, maybe. Depends on if you have a skinny loaf of bread or something for a whole entire day. Would you be willing to? Would you be willing to wait in the bread lines and stuff like that? Because some countries, you know, they have bread lines, they have soup lines, and what happens when they? Isn't that beautiful? Look at that green. That green is so beautiful. What happens when they have to issue ration cards again? What on earth? Can you all see what is that? Okay, you all, that's a UFO. Are you all getting that? That is a UFO that just has manifested right in front of our eyes. Are you seeing that? Oh my gosh. Look at that. Right there in front of our eyes, you all. It literally manifested. Just like that. That was not there, you all. It was not. Oh my gosh. Wow. And now it's like spreading out. It cloaked itself as a chemtrail or something. That is the wildest thing. It started off as a really thin line, and there's nothing else to it, you all. There's nothing else to it. And it just stopped like that. How could that be possible? Yeah, how could it be, you all? See, that was wild. That was so wild, and I'm thinking, am I seeing double? That's what I thought, because my eye was watering, and I thought, is that you? I'm always looking. I'm trying to always look and be observant. I really am. See, look at the sky. And I don't mind talking about UFOs. I really don't. I happen to believe that there are, and there really are ships, is what they are. They're ships in the sky, you all, like ships in the night. See, look at my sky here, you all. Yeah, so food could get too expensive one day. And, you know, they may have to issue ration cards again like they used to. People did have a ration card, and you could only get so much. With that ration card, you know, my mother remembers when we were all little, they got a block of cheese, canned meat. I remember powdered milk. I remember that, you all. I got so tired of powdered milk. I did growing up. My sister to this day will not drink powdered milk, my oldest sister, because that's what we had, powdered milk. Okay, it's okay. It is. Let me see. So, yeah, let me stand right here so I can see this, you all. Let me fix my hair. When you fast, your body gets used to having less food. That is true. I know myself also, if I'm busy working out in the yard or doing something like that, oftentimes I don't stop to eat. I don't. I just keep going and going and going, and I still have more energy is what happens. Hello, you all. Thank you for tuning in. Do I remember standing in the government? Do you remember Esteban? No, but I remember going to the courthouse. Mom took all of us kids when we were little. We stood in great big long lines that literally winded up the steps for the food stamps. Okay. Yeah, for food stamps. I remember that very clearly. And, you know, that was a long time. We had to wait for hours in the line, but my mother took us all because we were very poor, below the poverty line. Just going to the courthouse, and everybody else with their children and stuff. You just stand there and you just wait until you get your food stamps, like that. Power water. Yeah, you so you grew up on food boxes like you described. Yeah. Well, that was nice. We saw a UFO. We did. It was nice. Hello, everyone. Yeah. So when food gets too expensive, and it's getting expensive, it depends on what you want to eat too. And could you handle not having salt? Could you handle not having salt for your food? Iodized salt, and our body needs iodine. Hello, Susan Donahue, honey, thank you. Our body needs iodine. Okay, it does. I think our thyroid needs it or something like that. And you know, you can cleanse your wounds with it too. You can. I gotta wipe my eye. It keeps watering from being out here. And it's all right. You remember powdered eggs? Yes, that's right. That's another thing my mother had, powdered eggs. I'm glad you said that. Powdered eggs and powdered milk, canned meat, and food stamps. I remember getting the food stamps. They had the $1 bill packs, little booklets, the 5s, the 10s, and the 20s. Yeah. We ate good. We really did. We ate really good. If you have 5 children and you can't afford to feed your family, the food stamps really came in handy. It did. We never went without a single meal. And we always had food. That's exactly right. And we always sat at the table and ate as a family growing up. For years and to go without food. Yeah, you remember those books, food stamp books? Yeah, nowadays they got the debit cards, they do. But see, that's something to think about. So you get the EBT cards, okay? Otherwise, food stamps. What happens when the food gets really, really expensive? Are you going to get more money on the EBT cards? Or are you going to get more food stamp money? Because it ain't going to go that far. Okay, it's not. And I know that you can use your EBT now to buy things other than food that would necessitate what you needed. Hello. Oops, government cheese. Yeah, that was really good. And, I grew up on school lunches, free lunches in school. We could get skim milk, the 1% milk or the 2% milk, but we weren't allowed to get the chocolate milk because that was a special treat for the people who paid for their lunch. We could only get the white milk. And sometimes, if you forgot your food, if you something happened, if you forget your lunch at school, you get a cheese sandwich. A big thick piece of cheese on bread. That was really good too. It was. During the pandemic, they increased the food stamp supplement or allotment. Susan, honey, I think that's good because a lot of people, they needed it. Okay, they did. A lot of people probably didn't do what they should have with it, but that's neither here nor there. At least it was available and for people to use. You had the best school lunches and breakfast too, you all. Yeah. So when food becomes too expensive, you all, if you were here earlier, I was sitting here talking about the school lunches, and all of a sudden in the sky there appeared a ship. It started off as a really thin line, and then boom, it manifested. There was nothing else there, you all. Nothing else there at all. You wash dishes to get that lunch. Wow, and that honey. Whew. Yep. You all, let me flip this around and let you see the greenery, because the green is healing. It's healing colors. It really is. You see those all the time in Virginia, and some go straight up. Well, the one that we saw was just a little, it didn't go any further. It was very short. Looked like a long cylindrical shaped ship. And then it like, boom, did whatever it had to do, you all, is what it did. Whatever it had to do, it did it, you all. I'm getting a hot flash. And let me tell you, this humidity has been really hot today. And I think this is what I got on. If you're in the humidity, I wear socks with these shoes because your feet are even going to sweat also. But the humidity doesn't look that. See, the humidity does not feel that hot. Okay, it doesn't, but it is hot out there. Look at the barometric pressure. That's kind of low if you all know anything about it. I don't really know much about it, but it's really dropping. And then we got this going on, but we got beautiful clouds. We do. Whew. We got it going on. You came to the time of the line in the sky. Oh, that's right. That's right. It was not normal, you all, at all. And it just like manifested itself. You know, June the 15th is coming. It is. That's when I saw the, look at that shadow up here, you all. Look at that shadow that is up there on that sky. It still kind of hurts my neck to look up, but that's okay. I keep moving my body and my neck because I don't want to be wimpy. I don't, you all. I don't want to be wimpy. Yeah. The dew point is what really makes you sweat, Jay Ferris. Is that the barometric? Oh, you can hear me? That's great. So let me come back here. Oh, I am right here. So yeah, when food gets too expensive, and there are people right now, they can't afford to go buy what they want at the store, and it's in short supply. I noticed like when you go to the store, some of the ramen, so why you got a cloud looking like that, going just like kind of straight on the bottom, and it just making its way across the sky. Like the ramen noodles are the first to go in the store. See how they're just like moving like that? They're just like hanging in the sky, and they don't match the other clouds. And I think they're cloaked. I think those are cloaked because they're just hanging there. And yeah, I am gonna go, you all, because my eye keeps watering out here, is what it keeps doing. Let me see this. A shortage, a shortage of decent people. The 50 or 60, it used to be where you could go to sleep with your door open. I don't even do that here where I live at in the country. I don't go to sleep with my door open. Growing up I did, but no, not here. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't. Oh, there's a pretty red bird. Yeah, your eyes are watery. It's just this one eye right here. My other eye is fine. Yeah, the petrified titans. Yeah. You all, I'm going to go. Susan B. Honey, hello. Thank you all for tuning in. I am going to go in there. I'm going to get me something to eat because I am kind of hungry, is what I am. So thank you all. And I hope to see you all later this evening. I do. And with that being said, let me get up. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love. You have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you, Susan Donahue, for that tip. Yeah, thank you. Love you.